All right. Hello, hello. Sorry for the late um start to the stream. I was intending to do this yesterday, but I got caught up with some stuff, some winter storm preparation. So now I don't know. Uh, but we're gonna do this tonight, I guess. Um, Lots to cover with this particular stream, so I guess let's get into it. First off, this is our live radar for the Dallas Fort Worth metropolitan area, looking from the National Weather Service Fort Worth radar near Burleson, Texas. As you can see here, we have several sleet showers beginning to enter the area, um, albeit very light. There are some sleet showers. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of these start producing some thunder that definitely look to be of the convective nature, so I wouldn't be surprised if they get stronger as the evening progresses. And if you begin to look out west, you can see more ice and snow headed our way. So it's going to be an interesting couple of hours, especially as we get into the overnight hours. Let me raise my gain here a little bit. Okay. So, especially as we get into the overnight hours, this is going to start to get interesting. We have, where is it? An ice storm warning in effect for the Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan area. This is for parts of our immediate viewing area, so Denton, Fort Worth, on down to Cleburne are the immediate parts of the Dallas-Fort Worth metro. And of course, you have Weatherford, Granbury, and all of these other areas that are under this particular warning. Areas of light freezing rain and sleet through tonight, with mainly freezing rain on Wednesday. This is going to be the big daddy of the event, if you will. This is what we have been talking about for several days now. This has been the biggest concern, is the freezing rain sector of this storm. And it's going to be going through till about Thursday. The winter storm warning should hopefully expire later tonight, but then we will transition into mostly an ice storm. And I mean, we're already seeing the effects of it, irregardless. Sorry, I gotta go back. So this is our ice storm warning here, but if I scroll up a little, this is from Brandon Clement. Oh, and it's gone. Awesome. Here, let me see if I can. Look it up. Brandon Clement. There we go. Apologies for that. Yeah. So, we will obviously, hopefully, not see much more of these accidents, but I mean, even just from the little bit of ice that we got from these storms today has already been enough to cause some of these issues on some of our roadways. I believe this was in this was in Dallas. So let's get into what exactly we will be seeing. This is the HRRR. This is the latest. Oh, sorry. This is the latest full run. As you can see here, this is right about now, essentially. Essentially at the start of this run. We already have some light sleet showers moving through the metro and heading off to the northeast. This is a northeastward propagating system. And then as we get later into the night, we tend to see an upswing, in fact, a very dramatic upswing in sleet showers. And I should probably pull up my Zulu time chart. Not that good of a live streamer, folks. Let's be real. Yeah, so about 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, we will see a large transition into very heavy freezing rain and sleet showers. And it's going to get real ugly if we go over to freezing rain accumulation. I mean, it just explodes in the morning already predicting 0.13, 0.14 in some spots. And as we get more to the southwest, it gets worse. Interestingly enough, this system is actually really heavily affecting portions of southwestern Texas along the Rio Grande, and even Mexico has been reporting some ice. This is due to the fact that this particular system that is hitting us right now, the front has stalled. This cold front that brought all this freezing air has stalled over Mexico, and right off the coast over here is a trough that is pushing water vapor up this way and over the cold front, which is why we are getting freezing rain and sleet, and not snow. In fact, that's why we're seeing any wintry precipitation at all. So, this is the HRRR for tomorrow morning and mid-afternoon. Mid-morning. My apologies. Mid-morning. And, I mean, yeah, just pretty self-explanatory. 0.28 inches of ice. That's pretty significant. This is the NAM 3K, or the NAM Nest. Freezing rain accumulations. Pretty much the same story. Overnight. Big switch. Actually, I am completely, pretty much the same overnight, and into the morning, big switch into freezing rain, but this has a little bit more of a Thursday push. This says that the storm will stick around until Thursday, so this seems to be the outlier, and the reason that is that, most models are predicting that a lot of the worst of the storm will be done by Thursday and into early Friday. So this seems to be the outlier, but I think what should be focused on more is the just sheer amount that we're supposed to get. So, let's look at the NAM, freezing rain accumulations, and yep, pretty much the same story on into Wednesday and early, late Wednesday or early Thursday. Pretty self-explanatory. That is a lot of ice we're working with. Keep in mind, look at those hot spots down near Austin. We have been predicting that for a while now. Just a lot of this system actually seems to be impacting portions of Texas, Austin, San Antonio, etc. A little bit harder than other places. That's really interesting. That's just due to the frontal placement. It's right here, essentially, and all the moisture is being guided in this corridor that happens to be directly south of the Metroplex. So, and then freezing rain accumulations on the RAP, or the RAP. Pretty much the same story. Yeah, so, we are, albeit the placement is a little bit different, it favors a more northern setup, but irregardless, the story seems to be the same. The immediate Dallas-Fort Worth area will see significant ice. Now, it should be noted that the chances of seeing ice that is up to a half inch, which is something that we've been extremely concerned about with this storm, is relatively low. It's about 5%, but we are likely to see up to 0.25 inches, and we have already seen significant icing across parts of the metro. Earlier this morning there were several freezing rain mixed with sleet showers, which is why we saw this situation again. Brandon Clement is the one who took this photo, or sorry, not photo, video. Brandon Clement is the one who took this video, so all credit goes to him, of course. Did an excellent job. So, ice. It gets heavy, especially as it accumulates. The biggest concern with this system is power outages and broken tree limbs, because as ice accumulates, obviously, it's self-explanatory. The ice will weigh down heavy on the power lines, causing damage and power outages, and with tree limbs, they could break if they're weak enough, depending on how much ice we get. Now, keep in mind, for the most part, this isn't a ton of ice to do, like, for most places, especially you'll see like with the HRRR, especially early on, not much ice has formed, so impacts are relatively limited. It's when we start getting values like these, that's when it starts to matter. So I would definitely pay attention to that tomorrow. I will probably be streaming again and going over all of this information. I just wanted to spit out a quick stream before I went off to bed. Just kind of covering the situation. But yeah, I would highly recommend, obviously, not traveling anywhere tomorrow, especially if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. With the way that our roads are designed, we tend to have a lot of interchanges and a lot of bridges. And ice loves bridges. That is because it is off the ground, and whenever the ground likes to retain heat, especially concrete. So when it was, if you'll remember, it was like 60 degrees a couple of days ago, that ground still a little bit warm, which is why a lot of the impacts, especially, a good example of this is if you watch this video, they stop sliding whenever they pass the bridge and whenever it hits the ground, and that's because there's still some heat retained in there that caused the very thin layer of ice that formed on here to not really form so much in here, but because this is off the ground and the air is being cooled both ways. There's air underneath the bridge here and above the bridge, and it's freezing it both ways. You get ice. So avoid bridges. That's basically what I'm saying. Don't drive along 35. Don't drive along 20. You're asking to get into an accident. I would also be prepared for the possibility. Keep in mind, this is just a possibility. The possibility of power outages. So far, we have seen very minimal impacts, but that could change. So if you have power banks for your phones or laptops or whatever, I would charge them relatively quickly. In fact, I would do that tonight if you haven't already. And if you have firewood, I would get that ready as well. Don't try and go out for firewood now. You probably should have done that a couple of days ago, I'm not going to lie. But if you have firewood, get it ready. Get it inside so it doesn't have a bunch of rain on it tomorrow. Just get it inside and get it ready for if the power goes out. Have candles and blankets and warm drinks. So, just, treat it seriously, but keep in mind that the chances of power outages happening, I think, are not super high in our area. They're not, it's not an impossibility that we may not see that many, but with the way that our power system has handled ice storms in the past, they are not super winterized, and ice really, really hates power lines. Just prepare for that possibility that we may see significant icing and it could cause power outages. But I don't know. This is not going to be a system-wide failure like we saw back in 2021. Alright, well that's pretty much it. Let's pull up the radar one last time. Get a good look at what's going on here. We still have this very significant sleet storm over Cedar Hill, Glen Heights, Midlothian, and southern Dallas. And Burleson, Crowley, Joshua are going to be seeing, and especially Cleburne, are going to be seeing this particular little sleet band coming through within the hour. And we still have more following behind it. That is going to be it from me, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.